Hello YouTube, it's your boy Firemaster MT here, and welcome to Season 2 of the Classy Pokemon League. Alright, so this is my second season participating in the CPL. I didn't do very good last season. I was in a qualifying match for playoffs, but unfortunately I ended up losing that battle. And unfortunately that took me out of the running. But anyways, now we are back for season 2. I am very looking forward to what the season has in store. And with that said, time to get to the draft breakthrough. So anyways, round 1. I decided to go for my S tier first. I was picking number 11, and then it was gonna go like after it got to 14 it would go in reverse, so I would pick immediately afterwards. But I decided for my first tier 1, I decided to go with Lander Asterian form. The reason I went for Lander Asterian form was because its versatility. It can be either a really good physical attacker or a really good support user with like stealth rocks and things like that. Yeah, it can be pretty defensive. It has intimidate. It also has access to like I said, stealth rocks, knockoff, EQ, stone edge. It even has access to explosion if I really want to do it for the memes. But yeah, Landorus, really offensive, pretty bulky, with good investment, and looking forward to using this. Anyways, on to round 2. So after picking Lander Asterian, I decided to go with something that could synergize pretty well, something that could take ice type moves. And I decided to go with Rotom Wash. Rotom Wash, I needed a good water and electric type, and Rotom Wash fit those two types perfectly. Also, with it having levitate, it could actually, like everybody knows, like can't be hit by ground type moves. Also has access to good moves like Defog, Will-O-Wisp, Trick, Paint Split. It could also have good offensive moves with like Thunderbolt, Discharge, and Hydro Pump, obviously. And I'm really looking forward to using Rotom Wash. Like I could run trick sets, especially offensive, defensive. So I can do some pretty unique things with this. So looking forward to using Rotom Wash, and with Lander Asterian, these two will be a force to be reckoned with. Anyways, round 3. So for round 3, I decided to go for a good normal type just to combat any potential ghost types that my opponents might have, any of the other coaches. And I also needed something that could like hit pretty decently hard, and I felt Snorlax would be a good addition to the team. Not only that, with it having access to Thick Fat, I'm able to take fire and ice type moves pretty well, also granting me more coverage for Lander Asterian, so in that way it's not taking those ice type moves, and Rotom Wash doesn't have to take those ice type hits if it doesn't need to. Also, with this thing losing return, I do have to run Body Slam though, but Body Slam can be pretty handy with that good chance of paralysis. Also has some pretty decent coverage moves. Rock Slide, Earthquake, I think it gets the elemental punches. I could run Resto Chesto. I could run either Thick Fat, which I'll be mainly running, or if I want to like run immunity as well, so I can't be poisoned, that could come in pretty handy too. So yeah, Snorlax, big bulky boy, and I'm sure he'll put in some good work this season. Anyways, on to round 4, Metagross. Alright, so at this point in the draft, I really needed a good steel type that could hit those fairy types pretty well, and Metagross fit the bill perfectly. Also gives me a psychic type that I didn't already have on the team, has pretty good coverage, good versatility. I could run lead with rocks, priority bullet punch, has access to good stabbing meteor mash, Zen headbutt, and it also has good coverage with things like earthquake, ice punch, thunder punch, and hammer arm. And I could also run defensive if I really want to, with iron defense, body press, rocks, something like that. Or I could even for sweeping capabilities, I could run an agility set to make it pretty fast and hit with pretty good coverage. So yeah, Metagross, looking forward to using it. And moving on to round 5. Alright, so I decided to go with Venusaur, and I'll explain why. I have a Sun Core ready to go. So with this, Venusaur is going to be the main part of this core. So I am planning to combat weather teams by using Venusaur. By using growth under the right conditions, if I'm able to have the sun up, I can double my offenses. I have fire type weather ball. Not only that, like instant solar beams, Giga Drain for recovery. I also have synthesis for recovery. Sludge Bomb for fairies, so Metagross doesn't have to be the only one that has to deal with those fairy types. And it also has access to Earth Power, so I could also hit Steel types too. And with that, moving on to the other part of my Sun Core, Round 6. Torkoal. Alright, so the thing is, it was either this or Cantonian Ninetales, but by the time it got to me, Cantonian Ninetales was already taken at that point, so Torkoal was my next best option. But I felt like Torkoal could be a good addition to the team. Reasons why: good special attacker that I really needed. Also gives me access to rocks, yawn to put things to sleep, and maybe force switches before they fall asleep. Also, like, gives me a second rocker aside from Lander Asterian form. Lava Plume to potentially burn while also causing damage, so I don't have to rely too much on Will-O-Wisp. And Rapid Spin. Yes, I will have this spinner so I could get rid of hazards on my side of the field. And also, if my opponent decides to run a Trick Room team, Torkoal could actually be a way to counteract that. So yeah, Torkoal and Venusaur, Sun Core, let's do it. Let's put in some work. Anyways, moving on to round 7, Ribombee. Alright, so Ribombee is actually a returning member of the San Francisco Celebis. I actually did run it back in Season 1, and I thought it did pretty decent. Yeah, Bug might not have like the best coverage ever, but hey, it gives me something to deal with Grass types, Psychic types, Dark types. But I mainly needed it for its Fairy typing and speed, and Sticky Webs. Yes, with this, I not only have rocks, I also have Sticky Webs to also like make my opponent's team at least a little bit slower than my team, so then that way my faster threats can go ahead and do massive damage or get kills. And with Ribombee, Moonblast every dragon on the opposing team, and that we should be good to go. So yeah, I will be looking forward to using Ribombee again, and I'm glad to have it again. Moving on to round 8. Cryogonal. Cryogonal. I mainly just drafted this because it was an ice type. I wanted to have a good offensive ice type that I can use. It has access to Freeze Dry, which also gives me the ability to deal with bulky waters if Venusaur can't deal with it. I could deal with things like Seismitoad, Gastrodon, Quagsire, and maybe even the Dracovish that somebody drafted, but yes. I also did draft it because it's another spinner aside from Torkoal. I also has access to Solar Beam, which I just learned recently. I could maybe use this for funsies if I really don't want to just have like grass coverage on just Venusaur. It also has access to Ancient Power and Dual Screens, so with this I should be able to like set up screens with Light Clay and make my team a little bit harder to take out. So yeah, I will be looking forward to using Cryogonal, and let's see if I could make it work. On to round 9, Spiritomb. Alright, so at this point in the draft, I either needed a Rock type or a Dark Ghost type. And I didn't see anything in the higher tiers that I wanted, and then I saw Spiritomb in tier 5, and I'm like, I'll go ahead and take it. The reason I drafted this was because it could be either defensive on the physical or special side. It has okay offenses. I probably won't be using it for offensive capabilities, but if I want to use a physical or special set, I can. Has access to Calm Mind. I could run Resto Chesta if I want, Rest Sleep Talk, or even just run Pain Split on a defensive set. And it also grants me a spin blocker that I can use for any opposing spinners, just in case they want to try to get rid of hazards. I have my Ghost type here. And it also grants me another Will-O-Wisp user, so yeah, hinder those physical attackers, and yeah, I'll be looking forward to using Spiritomb as well. Alright, on to the final picks. Round 10. Hitmonlee. Alright, so Hitmonlee, I needed a strong fighting type that could hit pretty hard, something decently fast. And unfortunately, yeah, I did want to draft Mienshao, but unfortunately, somebody got to it first. So I decided to use one of my to get another tier 4, and Hitmonlee was what I felt was the best pick. It has access to Rapid Spin, really good offensive with close combat, high jump kick, but I'll be most likely running high jump. No, I'll be running close combat. I mean, like I said, it's also my third spinner aside from Torkoal and Cryogonal. Access to knockoff, Mach Punch, Bullet Punch for priority, bulk up, and the best part is there's some terrain teams running around, so I have Unburden, so I can run the seeds on it, get a bulk up off, and if I manage to get the seeds off, I can get that Unburden boost, and I could potentially go outspeeding some teams and punching holes. So yeah, let's see if I can make this Hitmonlee work. Anyways, round 11 and my final pick. Zygarde 10% form. So, Zygarde 10%. I will be, like, if I could take out those fairy types ahead of time, Zygarde would either Outrage or Scale Shot to increase speed. I could put in work. It also has access to things like Thousand Arrows, Thousand Waves, Earthquake. I think it even gets access to Iron Tail. And yeah, if I can start setting up with Zygarde 10%, I could actually start punching holes through my opponent's teams. And not only that, it grants me on my second fastest Pokemon, aside from Ribombee, at base 115 speed. Making this effectively my second fastest Pokemon and increasing my speed tiers a bit. So yeah, I'll be looking forward to using Zygarde 10%, and let's see what I can do with it. And with that, that concludes my draft breakdown. Hope you guys enjoyed my draft analysis of my team. And hope you guys will be cheering for the San Francisco Celebis. I will be attempting to win the entire championship. Wish me luck. And if you guys enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you on